going to be talking about our top 5 current metal bands. And by that, I mean, like, bands that in the past 10 years or so just seem to have been doing no wrong, have just been putting out some of the best material in recent memory, and just have been fucking shit up out there and really just putting out some great stuff. Just something interesting. Now, before we get into this, this list is in no particular order. We each have 5 that we're going to talk about. We decided not to rank them. So yeah, if you know, Woody comes before other Woody, and you're like, oh, it should be the other way around, you know, it's in no order. And also, there's a lot of great bands out there today that have been putting out a lot of great stuff in recent years. Sorry if they're not on the list and you wanted them to. This is personal opinion. Just wanted to throw that out there too. So Sam, what are your 5 current bands? That's really gay.
Really, when I kind of think of my 5 bands in the past 10 years, I tend to think of almost like a reign or just a show of musicianship to me, or the community of which they appeal to. And for me personally, I have 5 bands that I could say Beyonce, Katy Perry, Justin Timberlake, blah blah blah, you know, because they have their reign in music. But no, not the past 10 years. But I have bands that, at least to me, have kind of shown this reign of superiority at one time or another in the past 10 years. 5th, I have Killswitch Engage, just because they are a big, you know, band. They've shown their reign over metalcore, especially all the way back to 2004, when it was the end of Heartache.
Yeah.
And up until now, 2014, I mean, they have been putting out, aside of the self-titled, I think, pretty good material. I didn't listen to their previous, latest album too much from last year, but it's
I thought you really dig the self-titled.
I mean, I dig songs off of it a lot, but then there are some songs that just, I don't know. It's not their best album. It's
understandable. I agree with that.
But I mean, the end of Heartache was good, and missing it.
As Daylight Dies.
Yeah, As Daylight Dies, and like I said, their album from last year is pretty solid material. I think they definitely deserve to be one of, you know, the best metal bands of the past 10 years, easily to me. Number 4, I have Suicide Silence. The Black Crown was something else. It had its moments, but at the same time, it was, I don't know. And even nowadays, thinking back to Suicide Silence, it's a weird thing to think about, because you truly value how good their music was and what they did for metal, deathcore, I guess. The Cleansing was a huge album, definitely. A ton of scene kids loved that. And more than just scene kids, I mean, people that dug heavy, cool music. And then No Time to Bleed came out. That album was just, I mean, the last time I saw Suicide Silence, and the last couple of times I saw them, or how many times I actually saw them as a band, they had big crowds. People were way into this band. I felt like they had a good reign over deathcore. You know, they're probably one of the last great deathcore bands, I think. Deathcore anymore, I can't even really tell you any bands, any new deathcore bands, because, I mean, I can just tell you older ones, and not all of them are even that good. But Suicide Silence definitely had a good reign over, you know, the 3 albums that they made. I think that The Black Crown wasn't their best, but it was still something that was decent. Now, I'm just basing this off of Mitch Lucker's Suicide Silence because I know they have Eddie and they're writing new material and stuff, but this is just what I'm basing it off of. Third, I have the Black Dahlia Murder because Nocturnal came out 2007, and that's one of my favorite albums from them. And that includes in the past 10 years, and they've also put out Death Flurry, Ritual, Everblack. I mean, album after album after album after album, because I said 4 of them, are just great. I mean, even through lineup changes, Ryan Knight coming into the band and Shannon Bates coming out of the band, did go in and then went out. I mean, they've stuck to some awesome music writing, and you think a band like the Black Dahlia Murder would get old, but they just haven't to me yet. Well, so far, I can't say yet, but so far they haven't gotten old. They're still putting out album after album. I feel like they still have a solid reign over, you know, what I see as metal in the past 10 years. They've had a good reign as a solid kick-ass band throughout all of it. I think a band like Suicide Silence had their momentary sort of, you know, sitting on the throne moment, but Black Dahlia Murder has just been solid throughout that time, and I think they were very good. I remember I used to say that in the reviews and we'd stand over there. Solid. However I said it. Number 2, I have Between the Buried and Me, because you can't not have them on the list. I mean, this band just puts out album after album of just, holy crap. I mean, it's ridiculous the talent these guys have, and they somehow, it's not even like they cram this talent into a funnel and, you know, mixed it in to, you know, good musicianship. It's just like it freely flows into these good songs. It's not, you know, 2 separate things, talent and then, you know, bad songs. It's just, it's all one with them. Everything, I feel, is all just so right with them, if you know what I mean. They're talented, they write good songs, songs go where they should go, and they go everywhere. And they go where they should go, and they end where they should end, and they transition where they should transition, album after album. It's just, it's supreme awesomeness. And I think that they definitely have a reign as, you know, in my mind, the best progressive metal band out there. I mean, even one of the best metal bands, period. I'm talking about all metal, every genre, even people that want to consider like Five Finger Death Punch and Avenged Sevenfold metal. I'm talking about all kinds of metal. I mean, Between the Buried is definitely up there, easily in the top 5, maybe even top 3. My favorite band of the past 10 years, I think have put out good album after good album, probably more so recently than 10 years ago. The Devil Wears Prada, because they get better and better with each album, and they become a better band. And where they could have gone back in 2005, or well, they started in 2005, 2008. You know, when a bunch of bands sprung up, and especially a notable band that sprung up was Attack Attack. And a lot of people lumped a lot of those bands together as the scene screamo bands and whatever. And the Devil Wears Prada actually emerged out of that to become a good band. Not that their music was bad then, so bad. I mean, it's not as good as it is now, but they emerged to become a good quality band to me. And they could have taken the path of Attack Attack, or some band that people forget from back then that was, you know, some, I don't know, just screamo scene band or whatever that was all lumped into that back then. I feel like the Devil Wears Prada emerged to be a pretty good band, and I think maybe they aren't the biggest metalcore band out there, not so big as As I Lay Dying has been or Killswitch Engage has been, But I think they definitely just keep going, and they just keep running with it, and there's no slowing them down.
Defend.
How long
Wow.
did it take you to think of that?
You sat there the entire time.
Or they could spice it up, attack, defend.
Yeah, instead of always attacking, why don't you defend some? You know, counterattack.
I don't
There we
know.
go.
I mean, even the band names back then, you could just say, "Oh, it's Screamo, Attack, The Devil Wears Prada."
Wieners. Wow.
Well, Devil Wears Prada is named after a book. As Lily Dying was named after a book. Mice and Men was named after a book.
Attack's named after an action.
I don't even know what their band name is from. Anyway, Keith, what's your list?
Oh god, I'm gonna leave that.
Spiraling out.
I'm gonna leave
control.
the cheesiness behind. And I'm gonna go into my list. I guess for my first one for number 5, I'll have Testament.
Wow.
Yeah, very much Testament. Like they're honestly especially their last 3 albums. You know, the Dark Roots of Earth, Formation of Damnation, and Practice What You Preach. There's like some of the best thrash albums I've heard in a long time, and it's a lot better than, you know, the earlier stuff, which is to say something, because, you know, a lot of people you hear, you know, all the time, you know, the early stuff's the best. They've gotten too far away from it, but like their new stuff, I think, is some of the best stuff they've put out.
Formation of Damnation. Why not The Destruction of Salvation? That's a more literate.
Practice what you
Opposite.
preach.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the other album before that? I'm The Gathering. Sorry, I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was close.
We forgive
I was only off by 6 years. It was close. Oh well. But like, still, all those albums are really good. You know, my personal favorite Testament album is The Formation of Damnation. So I mean, that just says something. You know, there's so many great songs from there. You know, there's that. There's you know, More Than Meets the Eye. Persecuted Will Forget. Like, I don't know. Just they've gotten better. They found their sound. I feel like kind of earlier on with like their first couple of albums. Yeah, there's some good songs in there, but they kind of were just a thrash band, you know, in a way, one of those thrash bands that kind of get lost because they're just another thrash band, but then they found themselves a lot more recently, I feel, so,
Did they use a map?
yes, and that's why,
I feel like there was assiness with my list. I'm giving assiness to other people's lists.
you did it like once, you've done it like 5 times already,
I didn't do it 5 times.
twice,
That's not 5.
make that 3.
That's just me defending a point.
Okay, I'm gonna
Finish
continue.
with your list.
I can continue. Next to my list, I'm gonna have Iced Earth. Iced Earth is another band that I feel like has gotten really good a lot more recently. You know, in the last, you know, if you think of some of the albums that this band has put out more recently, you know, with Plagues of Babylon, which I guess isn't even technically out yet, but you know, it was streamed online or leaked, whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure. Streamed? Okay, let's go with that. It's a good album. Really good album. It's some of the best power metal I've heard in a long time. You know, same thing with Dystopia. Dystopia is a great album. And it's cool because this band, in the last 10 years, because Glorious Burden came out, I think in 2004, didn't it? Or when did that come out?
Glorious Burden, yeah,
2004. So, literally, again, kind of the edge. You kind of see 3 eras of the band, and they've kind of gotten better as kind of time goes on. You know, with Matt Barlow, Tim Owens, and Stu Block. This band just is putting out their best stuff right now. They're finding themselves. They're breaking away from the power metal mold. You know, that's kind of a lot of what my list consists of. Bands breaking away from that stereotypical mold that they may or may not have fallen into, and it's really cool. You know, I think that, you know, songs like Plagues of Babylon, like When the Eagle Cries, you know, Dystopia, Anthem, End of Innocence, you know, Hold at All Costs. Songs like those are easily the best Iced Earth songs they've ever put out. And I see nothing but bright things coming for these guys in the future. So it's 4. Number 3, I have Trivium. I'll put Trivium there. Trivium's cool because, as you know, I've said multiple times, they, in a way, all slightly reinvent themselves with each album. No two albums sound exactly the same, and it's really cool because you can see kind of how from like 2 albums, where like looking at the most recent 2, looking at Shogun and looking at well, okay, not the most recent 2, but like looking at, you know, 2 of the more recent ones, Shogun and Vengeance Falls, you see in a way Shogun where they really embrace just kind of writing, and they, you know, songs go wherever they go, and it's very natural. Nothing's kind of like, well, we should probably go back to this here, you know. It's all very well complex written stuff. And then you look at, you know, Vengeance Falls, where it's the individual parts, like the riffs and everything is very well written. It's probably some of the best riffs that Trivium's put out is on that album. And I just feel like, you know, again, with everything, they have so many good songs, and like, you know, no 2 albums sound exactly the same. I don't know of a band, many other bands that can pull that off. That, you know, they can basically just be like, you know, we're gonna write thrash metal album. Yeah, you know what, we're gonna go progressive. You know what, let's just write straight metalcore. You know, let's kind of go a little bit more radio if we want to. You know, they kind of do whatever they want. They kind of can do no wrong. Number 2, we're gonna have Amon Amarth. Amon Amarth's awesome. I mean, just everything with this, what they've accomplished as of late is awesome. You know, the only album, honestly, that I know extensively is the most recent one, Deceiver of the Gods. But like, they put out so many good songs and so much, you know, in the last 10 years. It's awesome. They've, again, breaking away from the mold. You know, they're not a melodic death metal band. They're more than that. They've kind of, you know, I know a lot of people who, you know, just like, Amon Amarth. Like, even people who don't like the kind of more hardcore music. Like, yeah, Amon Amarth's awesome. And, you know, it's just, I don't even know if I can go on and on about it. Just Amon Amarth is just, you know, Amon Amarth. They're awesome. You know, they write songs about Vikings, slaying shit, and sailing. All that good shit.
Gods.
Yes, and Odin and Thor and Loki and all those fun characters. And then, I guess number 1, I'm going to have, honestly, the band that's, honestly, I see the most coming out of, and probably, especially in the last year or so, becoming my favorite band. I'm going to have Winter Song. Me and Tyler both talk about this band so much, I'm not going to spend forever on it. It's, you know, I'm not even sure what kind of metal they are. They're just epic, you know, symphonic, melodic death metal with like all kinds of other things thrown in. It's just awesome, you know. I don't think I've heard such great songwritings come from a metal band ever, and everything is written so methodically, and kind of like what I was saying with Trivium, nothing is forced. Everything just kind of comes out. If a chorus fits here, they put a chorus, and it's just, there's not a single part of that band that I feel lacks. Like, vocally, guitar-wise, bass, drum-wise, everything in the orchestration, this whole band just blows me away. And so, that's why I have Winter Sun as number 1.
I guess we're ordering these now.
Well, I just kind of threw them out there.
Number 5, I have Machine Head. Machine Head in recent times have just been destroying everything. Unto the Locust, The Blackening, Through the Ashes of Empires, I believe it's called. Those 3 albums to me are what Machine Head are. To be completely honest with you, I don't really like Burn My Eyes that much. I just can't get into this 90s nu metal style of Machine Head. But when it comes to their most recent stuff, I just feel that it's just so much better than a lot of metal bands out there. I mean, Unto the Locust was my favorite album of 2011. I still stand by that. Rob Flynn has just grown so much as a vocalist. It just they just turned from writing these, short, standard 4 or 5 minute songs to these epic 7, 8, 9 minute arrangements of just metal and just this very awesome heavy sound. There's so many headbangs going on in this on all their music, and it's just incredible. Machine Head's been on a roll, and I'm extremely excited for the new album next year. I have a feeling that's going to be great. What?
Are you done with that band?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off. See you, everybody. Because it's 1 in the morning.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
getting up for work tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Say
See
bye
you,
to
everybody.
Sam. Say bye to Sam. Toodles.
See you.
Thanks for driving, Hoss.
Yep.
Number 4. Who do I have? Fucking balls. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. We got this out.
Monomarth is who I have at number 4. Everything that Keith said. I mean, with Odin on her side, Twilight of Thunder Gods, Surtur Rising, Versus the World, Deceiver of the Gods. Need I say more? They're past, I'd say 4. Versus the World's good, but it's not like the greatest thing. It not up to snuff to me with what this stuff. I don't know, not Versus the World. Fate of Nords, I think it is. The one with Pursuit of the Vikings on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
from 2004. I listened to With Odin on Her Side and all these albums, and I could just listen to them over and over and over and over again. And while Deceiver of the Gods, I feel, is a slight step back, it's still a fantastic album. And I feel that, a lot of people can see this band as repetitive. I see them as just fucking great melodic death metal that just has a lot of fantastic riffs. And I love Johan Greg's vocals. I mean, they're marvelous, and I love the material that they write about. This band just seems to literally put out consistently great albums. Just a fucking phenomenal band in recent memory. Number 3, I have Dream Theater. Dream Theater is just... Can I just say that they've been on a roll their whole career? Almost every album by these guys have just been phenomenal. But I feel, as of late, ever since Mike Portnoy left the band or got kicked out or whatever the fuck happened, I honestly feel that this band just is rejuvenated. And their past 2 albums have just been 2 of their best in my mind, with their self-titled this year and A Dramatic Turn of Events in 2011. And even when Mike Portnoy was in the band, I mean, he's a fantastic drummer. Black Clouds and Silver Linings was fantastic. Systematic Chaos, Octavarium. So many great albums from Dream Theater as of late. I feel that they've kind of found their modern sound that they really like. I feel that with each album, they're definitely pushing their craft to a whole new level. And with every release by Dream Theater, I get really giddy because I just love new music from these guys. And they just seem like, as of late, they really can do no wrong in that they've just been on a roll with the past, 4 or 5 albums in the past 10 years or so. Number 2, I have Insomnium. I feel like not enough people know this band, and it's a shame. Insomnium gives me those feels that just no other melodic death metal band out there can do. In my mind, they are the best melodic death metal band. I would put them above Amon Amarth. I would put them above Dark Tranquillity and Soilwork and In Flames and all these bands, just because they literally get better and better with each album. I like One for Sorrow better than Across the Dark. I like Across the Dark better than Above the Weeping World. I love Above the Weeping World better than Since the Day It All Came Down. Fuck. And even their new song is fantastic. They just put out a new EP with 3 out of the 4 songs on there are all acoustic songs, and it's still some of the best shit I've ever heard in my life. This band does no wrong. They're creative. They do what they feel. Everything just flows like crazy. Sometimes they have clean vocals, but they don't have it on every song because not every song needs it. They use it when it fits. I mean, gosh, just listen to One for Sorrow, the album, or any of them really, and it's just this dark atmosphere of just fucking great riffs, great melodies. It's the melodies that really gets to you when you listen to this band. You're just like, yes. But Insomnium, I just feels get better and better with each album, and as of late, they are by far one of the best metal bands out there in my mind. And I want to cry that I missed them in like 2012 or 11 when they did a tour over here. I wish I knew them then, but because they don't tour over here that much. That was the first time they toured the States in like 5 years. So I hope they come back really soon. When they have a new album coming out this year, it supposedly has these cool death metal and black metal vibes going on. I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's pretty cool. And number one, Winter Sun. I mean, what's left to say about Winter Sun that we haven't said? Literally, every time, they have 2 albums, and every time I listen to both of them, I'm just like, this is the greatest shit I've ever heard. I can't get tired of them. I've never had a band where I've listened to 2 albums on repeat and never got sick of them. You know, usually bands that I put on repeat a lot have a whole span of shit. I mean, Winter Sun just has 13 songs, if that, because there's like 2 instrumental tracks on Time 1. It just, Yari is, to me, the biggest genius in metal. And to me, this band is such a fresh breath of air for metal. They're creative. They put almost an influence from like every genre into their music, and then they throw in these folk influences, and sometimes on Time these weird Japanese sounding shit, and they put that in there. Every position in that band is just played at the highest talent that it can be played at. I don't have any more to say. I really don't. Just listen to Winter Sun. If you don't, you're getting retarded.
You don't.
Just kidding. I don't want to be that guy.
Nah.
Balls.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
But, plays it? Possibly?
Maybe.